The most important quality you need to interpret the Word of God is a heart to obey. See, if your heart doesn't want to obey, then you're going to find loopholes in the Bible. And so many people are trying to find loopholes. I don't want to tie, so here's a loophole. I don't want to abstain from sexual immorality. Where's a loophole? I want to be able to do this, even though I've been told it's wrong. So they're always reading the Bible looking for loopholes, and you're never going to interpret the Bible right until you have a heart to obey the Word. You know, in the final message of the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus ends the sermon with a parable. He says, anyone who listens to my teachings and puts them into practice will be like a wise man who built his house upon the rock. And when the winds came and the floods came and beat against that house, it did not fall because it had a rock as its foundation. Jesus ends his whole teaching by saying, you still got to put it into practice. It's not enough that you can interpret what I say and know what I say. In the end, you have to do what I say. James says in James 1, do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourself. Do what it says. You hear what he says? Do it. See, and if you don't have a heart to do it, you will allow the word of God to deceive you. I've seen people do this with all sorts of things because they don't have a heart to obey. I see anti-tithers, for example. They're just completely opposed to tithing. They believe tithing passed away when the new covenant was established, when there's nothing in the New Testament to ever say that. When they realize Jesus in Matthew 23:23 affirmed tithing. But what do? Well, he wasn't talking to me, he's talking to friends. Stupid argument. The point is, Jesus affirmed it, and why aren't you affirming it? Only one reason. You have greed in your heart. Because you have greed, you don't want to do the word. But when you have a hunger to do the word, you can bypass any false teaching you've gotten, and you can find the truth because your heart is to obey. I remember my son in the faith, Gordon John Manchi. He's now pastor of Malta's largest evangelical church. When he first came to El Paso and came to my church, he was opposed to the baptism of the Spirit, didn't believe in speaking in tongues. He was taught in his Bible college that every believer is already automatically filled with the Spirit if they get saved. He didn't really believe in a second experience. But you know, Gordon had a hunger for God. He wanted to obey. And it didn't matter. And so even though he put up arguments, he would say, what about this or that? And then I would answer it. In the end, I remember he came on a Wednesday Bible study about a half hour before the service began. He said, Pastor Brown, lay hands on me. I'm ready to be baptized in the Spirit. He said, I'm tired of arguing. I see it in the Word of God. Now, how did he finally see it? Because he had a heart and hunger to do God's will. See, this is the point. We can debate semantics and debate miracles and debate healing and debate prosperity and debate holiness and all sorts of debates around social issues. But in the end, when you have a heart to obey, you won't look for loopholes in the word. Instead, you'll say, here I am, Lord, just tell me what to do. And you'll have a better understanding of the word of God because your heart is to obey.